My name is Adam Van Couverden. I'm the Member of Parliament for Milton, just a little bit to the west of here. Assalamu alaikum, Sat Sri Akal. Hope everybody's having an awesome evening. What a packed room. Let's hear it for Khaliद. So we are here for one very, very specific reason, and that's to support our friend Iqra. And I've got to say a couple of things about Iqra before I get on to sort of the nuts and bolts of my speech and what Iqra's asked me to talk about today. She didn't say get up there and say all these nice things about me, but I'm going to because they're true. When I first started my campaign in Milton, I got a call from Iqra and said, look, we've never met before, you got to come to my house, meet my mom, meet my dad, eat some food with us, and let's talk about politics and get to know each other. And from that day forward, that was almost 4 years ago, Iqra's not just been a friend and a colleague, she's also been a mentor. She's somebody who got involved in politics before me, she knows the ropes, and anytime I have questions about literally anything, where are you supposed to sit, when are you supposed to stand, where's the good food in Ottawa, Iqra's always been there for me. And not just me, but all 158 Liberal members. Iqra is always there for us. You're a good sister, you're a good friend, and a great colleague, and I can't thank you enough. And that's why this room is packed, because you're great to all of us. We are here to celebrate leadership. Leadership comes in many shapes and forms. Everybody sitting at their table right now is a leader in one way or another. Iqra is a special type of leader. Iqra is a champion. And there are two types of champions. There is one type of champion, as my friend Mahbet, the super fan, knows, because he's a world champion in basketball. You can be the champion in a sporting event. You can be the champion, you can hold a trophy above your head, accept a gold medal. Congratulations, you're a champion. The second type of champion is the type of champion that we need in society. It's the type of champion that stands up for other people, that champions important causes, that recognizes that not everybody has a voice, but that everybody deserves a voice. A champion that is going to put other people on their back, take issues that are important to our community and our country, and make sure that they are heard in the annals of power by the people who need to hear it, loud and clear. And that's the type of champion that Iqra Khalid's always been. That's why we have private members' motions like M103 that stood up and said, Islamophobia is real. Islamophobia is a form of racism, discrimination, and intolerance. We need to accept that that is a fact in this country in order to conquer it. And that's what Iqra did. It wasn't 100% popular at the time. A lot of Conservatives voted against that motion. But guess what? It's unanimous in the House of Commons today. And that's because of the leadership and the champion that we have here to celebrate it this evening. It takes courage to be a champion. It also takes support. And everybody here is here for that reason tonight, because we recognize that it requires teamwork. If the Scotiabank Place wasn't packed full of 30,000 fans, and our favorite super fan wasn't underneath the net, what would it be like? It would be like COVID, actually. We already know what that's like. It's weird playing in an empty stadium. But if this room wasn't full, and if our campaign offices weren't full, and if our bank accounts running into a campaign weren't full, then we wouldn't feel that teamwork. But why do we fight? Why do we stand up? Why are we liberals? I know why I'm a liberal. I'm a liberal because I grew up in community housing in a wealthy town, but in a poor neighborhood. And my mom told me when I was 13, so I won't tell you how old my mom is, she wouldn't appreciate it. But I was 13 and my mom came home from work and she was really sad. I've never seen my mom cry before. But you know, I love my co-op. I grew up in the Chautauqua co-op, great community housing in Oakville. And I said, why are you upset? And she said, well, there was an election recently, and that means that Ontario is not going to build community housing anymore. And that's my job. My mom used to build co-ops at a place called Homestarts here in Mississauga. And I was 12 or 13 years old. I didn't care about politics. I cared about basketball. I cared about kayaking. I cared about punk rock music. And that's really all I cared about at the time. But at that moment, I recognized that something that happened in the news made my mom really sad and it affected our lives. She lost her job that day because Mike Harris was elected as the Premier of Ontario, and he shut down all the community housing projects, basically starting a chain reaction for 30 years in the province of Ontario, where we stopped building community housing. And that was the day that I started to care about politics. And that was the day that I recognized what happens when you elect Conservatives. When you elect Conservatives, you start forgetting about the little guy. When you elect Conservatives, you start thinking that, maybe something like climate change or an issue like Islamophobia. It doesn't matter as much anymore because they're willing to ignore those things. When you elect Conservatives, you get leaders like Pierre Poilievre, who's okay with some of his members, some of his MPs, meeting with far-right, intolerant politicians from Europe who speak openly in terms of racism, who talk about hatred as commonplace, who are actually supporting Putin through this horrendous, illegal occupation and invasion of Ukraine. That's the type of person that has a platform when you elect Conservatives. So we all must reflect. What makes us Liberals? And you know what's great about Liberals is that it's a different thing for all of us. I've always said there are some good ideas on the right, there are good ideas on the left, and where we find common ground, come together and identify ways to work together towards a better future for all Canadians is by meeting in the middle. And that's what the Liberal Party has meant to me, that's what the Liberal Party means to Khalid, and that's what the Liberal Party means to all of us. Meeting in the middle for common ground, for a better country, for all Canadians. Now, I'm going to talk about teamwork, but I'm also going to ask some of my team members, my teammates, to come up and join me on stage, because we're better when there's a couple of us. So first, I'll ask Khalid to come up and join